So you guys, you've had quite a bit thrown at you within your first day and a quarter of being within Gracklestug. You have just finished your meeting with Themberchaud, or Themberchad, whatever you want to fucking call him. Because he's a fat Chad. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody, don't listen to that.
We love Chads.
We love Chads worldwide.
Dad bod, best bod.
Yep. You've just wrapped up this meeting in which they had said that basically they feel like the Keepers of the Flame are keeping something from them and that there's something else kind of going on, and they need some free agents specifically working for them to kind of figure out what the fuck is going on. And they said, you know, if the Keepers of the Flame ask anything of you, to comply with them, do the thing, but anything you come back with, any findings, whatever, you report directly to him first before bringing or telling anything to the Keepers of the Flame. And as you guys were leaving, you were approached by a Grey Dwarf, Gartokar, who is one of the Keepers of the Flame, and he handed you, at the request of Themberchaud, 5 individual badges, gold badges in the shape of a dragon head, which would kind of declare you as agents of the Wyrmsmith, giving you a bit more access to various parts of Gracklestug. And they had informed you that they are missing a red dragon egg. And they believe it's to have been stolen by the Grey Ghosts. And the Grey Ghosts have done something that has caused a huge schism within the Underdark. And I believe I had remember describing it to you as like some kind of massive hole had been torn open, essentially. And that's where we had ended. You guys have the hulking body / figure of Arthur Vane, for those of you in this party that have forgotten. This odd, dark-skinned, red-haired man. And yeah, so you guys have just been dropped this huge, interesting knowledge that a red dragon egg has been stolen, and they're asking for your help here.
If we were to believe that this egg had been stolen by the Grey Ghosts,
Well, it has been. Thank you.
If we were to retrieve it for you,
Yes.
where would we begin to look into this claim? Where would we find this?
Well,
Do
that's
you believe?
part of the great mystery is we don't know where they're hiding. However, we have identified a who we believe is a small agent of the Grey Ghosts. They're an interesting little derro that has been seen hanging out around the West Cleft and out in near the Bazaars. We believe his name is Droki. He's got an odd little hat. Looks like 2 tentacle-shaped things hanging out on it. But if you find him, follow him, because we believe that he uses messages back and forth to the Grey Ghosts and any of their other proceedings before they commit some of their heinous crimes, and he might also be bringing them more bits and pieces for any type of sinister rituals that they do.
So if they have created this massive hole, is that a physical hole, or is this like a?
I have no idea.
Is it a philosophical hole?
What?
Like, could we visit this hole, or is this
I don't know. We've only felt it through the ripple of our consciences, and
So you don't
felt a
actually
hole.
know that there is a hole.
it's a metaphorical hole. It might be literal, it might be metaphorical. I don't know.
I feel like the
Yes.
severity of this endeavor kind of depends on what kind of hole it. Like, if you have
Thank
a
you,
hole
Sephel, yes.
in your psyche, I'm sorry for your loss, but that's a little less drastic than a physical hole. You
It
understand
adjusts-
the trepidation.
Exactly. It adjusts our priority list if the hole is not real.
If there's a hole in my head, it's only getting wider by the minute because of this conversation.
See, it seems like a personal problem.
All right. Well, you know what? Find the great fucking ghosts, would ya, please? Find us our goddamn egg, and everything will be fine. You'll get your riches, and you can get the fuck out. Is that what you want?
Yes. We would
Okay,
like to have-
great.
Oh,
Go
great.
find Droki. That'd be lovely. And report back when you have something. Thank you.
All right, well, have a great day.
You too. And he like flips the bird, walking away.
I remember him being much more stoic and religious type the last time we spoke to him. Such a quick change of attitude.
That's exactly right. That does strike you as odd. That's the second time you've seen shit like this.
We have that effect on people, I guess.
I mean, I didn't understand. It doesn't matter. So we need to find the Grey Ghost, Droki, this agent. Should we look for them in the Blade Bazaar?
He said the western. Sorry, it was the western what in the bazaar?
The West Cleft
The
district.
west cleft.
You remember when you were... Actually, you know what? Since you don't know what that is, you can go looking for information about that. Because you
Okay.
really don't know what that means.
Sure.
The Blade Bazaar?
No. The Blade
No, the
Bazaar you've
Western
been
one.
in, and you know that.
Yeah.
You don't know what the West Cleft is.
There is a bazaar in the west cleft
Oh,
that
I see.
Droki
That
is
isn't the Blade. Okay.
Yeah, different
No.
different bazaars.
No, two different things. Blade Bazaar, West Cleft.
How bizarre.
Totally separate. Oh, god damn it. End me now.
All right.
It's okay. No, it's a good one.
All right, so we're gonna go do some surveillance. Excellent. I love it. Sounds good to me.
Is this what you get up to quite often? This is Arthur talking to you guys. Because this is just absolutely fascinating.
It's sort
Sort
of
of.
random. Depends
Yes.
on the day.
It's not often that you find yourself in the presence of an adult red dragon, and if an adult dragon asks you for something, it would be quite rude to say no. Not to mention potentially lethal.
No, this is true, but just to anybody else, this would be an extreme circumstances, and you've all handled this quite nonchalantly.
Every day for about the last 4 weeks has been an extreme circumstance.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Par for the course.
Yes, if you'd
Well-
like to hear more, perhaps you should talk to Indigo. He likes to talk.
I sure do.
Turns
He
to you.
also has a lot of sketches.
No, I'd be quite interested in all of them.
Arthur turns around. I'm like halfway through sketching him. Like, oh,
Oh, is that me? That's quite good. I like it.
Oh,
Could you hold
thank you.
still,
thank you.
please?
yeah.
Oh yes, of course. And he like sits in a pose.
I get it. I get his good side.
Oh yes, thank you.
So my question is, it sounds like we have a lead here, and perhaps we should just chase it, unless you think that we should gather more information before we head out to find the West Cleft.
I mean, it seems like the lead is in the west cleft. We just need to figure out where exactly that is. Other than that, we still need to worry about... Supposedly, Bupido is here.
Oh, I think he's taken care of. I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh, yes, your friend at the
Thog.
bar. Thog. And we've been sighted by the drow, supposedly. So,
Yep,
Yes.
that's true.
That's a good point because we need to think about the drow, but also the guards in this city are invisible. So whatever we do, if we're to keep ourselves hidden, we need to be very cautious. Even if we think we're alone, we are probably not.
Yeah, do we know if they're always invisible, or was it just those couple occurrences when they were following us specifically? Like, have we seen guards out and about, or was it...
From what you've learned in that journal that you found in the hag's hut, I'm pretty sure the writer of that journal, the author, had described the Grey Dwarves as having an extremely large military force and a draconic set of laws. And surprisingly, except for the ones that you've seen at the gates in different locations, and the handful that did appear in front of you, you've really not seen too many.
Okay.
Which makes you wonder,
So, we should assume we are always being watched.
Yes.
Unless the military force has disappeared for some reason, which... I mean, pick your reason, I'm sure there's plenty of things that would distract them.
Well, let's just assume. And
Better to be safe.
Perhaps we head back to the Blade Bazaar to find information on where to find the West Cleft.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
While we're there,
Very
I wouldn't mind finding perhaps armor for Indigo and I.
Shopping!
Yes, you must be well equipped for such a journey as this one.
This is actually interesting. I suppose this is the first time we've actually gotten a chance to practice economics. We have a series of collected gold and trophies that we found. We haven't really found a place to sell them up until now.
Guys,
Yes,
I have a great idea. Great idea.
No.
We go to the Blade Bazaar, right? We do our shopping. And while we're shopping, stakeout. Just keeping our eyes out.
I like it.
Looking for the drone.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea. You're so smart, Indigo. You're like
God.
way
Still?
smarter than everybody else here. Like Sephel doesn't even compare to your massive intellect.
I will eat you.
You wouldn't. I don't have a brain. I don't
I
know.
think it's the skin that's tasty.
Okay.
And that's just another normal thing we say to each other, Arthur. There's nothing more to read into it. Now come on, let's go to the market.
He's just like, he kind of chuckles. Oh, inside jokes. That's good. All friends should have them.
This is the
Okay.
dad that came into his kid's basement while the teens are playing. Like, yes, the call of duties. I love it.
Back in my day, we went out in the woods and played cops and robbers and military.
We actually shot each other.
I have scars from the BBs and the bullets. Anyways. Okay. You guys start making your way back across the greater hold here, and you end up crossing back over the Great Furrow. And as you do, you look back over to your right, and you see down below, you see all the housings and caves that different Dwagger are coming, or Draugr, whatever the frig Grey Dwarves are coming out of. And you see that past the kind of gates that mark off the bottom of this furrow, you notice that there are like these great large scaffolding slums that seem to stretch off to the east. So it would be to your right on the map if the up is north. And you see numerous small figures kind of moving about it and stuff like that, and you identify them as Darrow. It seems that's where they are, kind of outside the city, but in these gargantuan scaffolding buildings all scattered about. But you eventually pass through the gates that you came through before, and you find yourselves back out by the Bullet's lair and into the Blade Bazaar. Where would you guys like to begin? Do you want to split up? Do your individual things? Keep together? What are you thinking?
We should probably stay together.
Agreed.
I mean, I think Thumbershoud said with the badges, we would have at least some sort of. Oh, what was it? Protection? I know it would stop us from like getting stopped by the Flame Keepers, but I think he also offered some sort of protection if we were working under him as well.
If you guys are wearing and wielding the badges, if you are held up by city guards, essentially, you have a means of what's the word I'm looking for? Essentially getting them to be like, oh, okay, I guess you can conduct your business here. You know, think of it as like a deputy badge. It's like, okay, I'm here under official business for an extremely important official here in the city. Please don't bar my way.
We have a golden ticket into the factory.
Yes, you have 5 golden tickets from Willy Wonka himself.
Yes, so we should stay together, even if we have, some form of protective seal. We should try to not get into any individual troubles.
Okay, you're biting the bullet. You're getting some scale mail. Okay, that's 50
Yeah.
gold. Go ahead and mark that.
I shall.
I also would like, while we're in some semblance of civilization, this is actually, it's kind of just dawning on Sephel, this is sort of the first time he's had a genuine chance to be in a place where he might find actual materials for spellcraft.
Yeah.
Like actual ink and paper and potentially readings. This is the first time since the surface that he's sort of been in a place where arcane knowledge might be.
Could be.
So that's...
Well, then I think we need to find out if we can sell that and how much money we get for it, because the only armor that is useful to Lara is the +1 leathers. +1 studded leather. And if she can't get that, then it's not really worth it.
Is there a... Can we find a place that would have an improved studded leather armor?
Yeah, like if I look around. Is it even available? Because then it's like...
Roll me a D100.
Okay. 38.
Okay. Yeah, you do find somebody who has studded leather. And it is a rare item. So that's anywhere between 500 and 5,000 GP that you could be spending on it.
So...
For +1.
For +1.
+1
Yeah.
studded.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that is, that's a little rough.
The only reason it's useful is so that I can free up an invocation slot and get something else. Because right now I'm using mage armor as one of my invocations. So if I get the armor to replace that, I can get a different invocation. But otherwise, I'm just going to keep the invocation. Because this +1 studded leather is just going to match what my mage armor does for me right now.
Yep.
While you guys are still kind of talking about that, I'm going to look up something that I totally forgot I had marked in here. Also, Brendan, because of your very good point of like, this could be the place to find these things. This is also a place to have things made.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to do anything more satisfying with any of the crystals and the likes, this is a very good place to look into.
So I have a thing for that. I have that nice green drake hide. I would like to find a leather worker who can make a cloak or a cape out of it for me.
Ooh. Okay. All right. Roll me a D100.
All right. Ooh, 34.
34. Okay. Yeah. You are able to find somebody, a decent leather worker. It's actually that you are on your journey here. Lara's like, I need studded leather. I need studded leather. And you're like, I found the guy who can do it. This guy could make it for you. It might take, they're like, you're talking in and out and what your kind of wants from it are. And so it would take them probably 2 days, and it could be, let's see here, going back to values. Did I lose it? No, I did not. Because you're just hoping whatever is innately within the Drake hide, it will give you some kind of protection or something? Okay.
Yeah, that, and I think it's going to look sweet.
It's going to look fucking sweet. Well, what do you want it to look like? Describe that to him.
So I got like the scale mail on now, so I want it to like cinch into the scale mail and kind of billow out as like a long cape, coming down to like mid calf, with enough kind of like leg room around it that I can kind of like furl myself into it.
Okay. All right. Like it. I like it. Yeah, so since you're supplying the material, I'm going to say it's going to knock it down a peg in terms of building materials. So it's going to knock it down a little bit in their personal value there. So it would cost you 75 gold to have this worked up in 2 days' time. But at the end of it, you would have this cloak and whatever innate things might come from it.
Lara's going to approach the person selling the +1 studded leather.
Mm-hmm.
You, sir, how much for that? And she points at it.
He, like, slowly turns his head up. He was just, like, investigating the Drake material. He's just like, how much value is it to you?
I need something to... Well, it is valuable in the sense that it will get worn.
Yeah, and it might protect your life, too.
It could.
So it's value.
I'm willing to pay its value.
Well, I guess I'd be inclined to sell it to you for 1,000.
1,000 silver?
1,000 gold, don't play stupid.
You just got fantastic business from my friend here. You can't knock it down a little?
I got business. No one had to classify it as fantastic business.
What is your name?
It was fantastic for me.
I'm glad it was. And the name's Claude.
All right, Claude. Well, Indigo here is going to be wearing that cape everywhere he goes. And we could tell everyone to go visit Claude in the Blade Bazaar in Gracklestug, or we could tell them to go elsewhere.
Well, that's your business. Everybody knows I'm the best.
Well, I've never heard of you.
Well, you're an outsider. How are you supposed to?
This is business sense here. It's free marketing. We'll tell everyone to come back here. And I'm just asking you to knock down the price on that.
Make a persuasion check. Or intimidation if you're really trying to, bat him down. I could see both.
Oh, intimidation.
Okay.
I'm uncomfortable being a part of this hard sell.
You want me to put spores in his brain?
No,
That's a
they're
16.
not.
16, okay.
Better not.
He's like, well, you'd have to tell everybody who saw you, who made it for you, where they could get something just as fine.
Exactly.
I'd be willing to drop 300 gold,
but I have to put my name on it.
Indigo?
Now on the armor, not on his cloak.
Oh, thank goodness.
You want to write Claude on my armor?
Yeah, like a logo.
Only fair, Lara. Only fair.
Well,
Studded leather by Claude.
yeah.
It'll be in fancier. It'll be in fancy writing.
Maybe it's protective. Maybe it's Claude.
Is that plus one studded leather from Claude?
Is that an original Claude?
You can't get those anywhere but in the Underdark.
All right. I'll have to come back with the money, but you'll hold it?
Yeah, it'll take me some time to put in my name on it. But it'll be done.
Fine.
He goes over, takes it off the rack, goes back, sets it down behind him.
Great. All right. Well, Indigo, Sephel, I'm done here for now.
Yep.
Me too. And like Indigo's like just like tapping his new scale mail, clinking around, is decidedly less quiet.
Yes, because Indigo was a master of stealth before this.
Sure am.
You turned into a warg the last time we fought something.
I mean, wargs are pretty...
Yeah, right.
I see your point. Nope, now I see it. I see. Yep. That's fair. So, are we ready for part 2?
Okay,
The
what's part 2 of your
stakeout?
plans?
The stakeout?
Well,
How are you going to stake out?
We need to find the West Cleft before we stake anything out.
You sound like you're living in a tin can.
What?
I don't understand how you can stake something out sounding like that, Indigo.
There it is. That's the thing. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm on a stakeout.
She was referring to your armor, not your voice, you imbecile.
Oh, man! I thought I was going to get to do a fun voice.
I mean,
I thought it was
Fine,
quite good.
man.
Oh, thanks,
Arthur,
Arthur.
don't encourage him.
All right, fine. Yes, let's stake out. What do we do?
Quick
feel
question before you do that. Is all your business absolutely done? Anything you wanted made? I know, Brendan, you were talking about finding, like, magical materials. Like, you guys are absolutely done shopping? You can do both. I'll have you roll perception or investigation checks. It's entirely up to you guys. Like, as you're walking through the bazaar, you can do shopping and you can be on the lookout. But I just wanted to make sure that that's it.
I mean, this seems like a very craft-oriented, like, manufacturing city. Is there anywhere that looks like it would have arcane like, that seems a little bit, I guess, outside of what a lot of this is. Like, are there arcanums? Are there libraries? Like, what is the studious scene?
Oh, oof. Make a... just make up a straight-up intelligence check for me. Or Arcana. Either one. Whatever one's got you... You know, if it's probably going to be the same bonus, but...
Well, Arcana I am proficient with, so slightly higher there. Still not fantastic. Just a 14.
Okay, that's enough. You intuit here that from what you've been seeing, if there's to be any large amount of potential magical things, it's going to be in some form or shape of armor or weaponry. For a lot of magics, the way you use them, you haven't seen anything that would tell you that they necessarily practice, or that if they do, they're certainly not flaunting it. A lot of it is in technological devices and more mundane, quote unquote, means of using them.
Most of their spells are put inside objects.
Exactly, yeah. Artificers galore here.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, in that case, I will I will stick to my current path, which is just studying the or playing around with the blue crystal that I switched into my staff. Haven't really had a chance to play around with gravity magic since then, but I will keep my focuses on that until I think we're in a better place. But he is keeping his eye open. Like, if anything around us strikes him as, ooh, maybe, he would have his eyes open for that.
Okay. Well, since you guys are doing this, and you're keeping an eye out for Droki, why don't you all roll either investigation or perception checks for me while you're making your way through the Bazaar here. And Brendan, because of your comment, I can't not say Bazaar with going how bizarre afterwards. Thank you for that.
It's a 22 investigation for Sephel.
Okay, great.
15.
As you guys are making way through the Bazaar, a lot of things tend to catch your eyes. First thing is, like, as you are making your way, Indigo, you make note that a lot of people who are here and are kind of hawking and bartering with each other are going through some really weird conversations and actions. Like, you see one people, it looks like a woman and a man just kind of like haggling over some small wares, and everything seems peaceful and fine until almost very similarly to when you guys were talking to the guards and even the Keeper of the Flame, there's a sudden shift, and like this woman is just holding this item in her hand, and then the merchant, it just starts accusing her of stealing from him, and like a guard pulls her away through the crowd, and you can hear like her screams and wails. You see that there are like and she just starts getting dragged off by a guard that has come through this crowd, and you hear her screams, cries, and protests as she is like dragged off down an alleyway. And you and a number of other outsiders, you know, non-Darrows / Grey Dwarves, and even the Drow, like, those guys don't bat an eye, but all of you are kind of like turning and looking, and abruptly there is silence. And like a few minutes later, another guard appears and is talking to the same merchant, and this merchant, like, you're kind of looking at him and he seems really confused, like, what the hell are you talking about? No woman was here. Like, I accused someone of theft? No, I've got all my stuff right here. What are you talking about? And the guard, like, pulls out this stuff that you saw the woman had been holding before, and he hands it back, and the guy's, like, even more confused. And you see, like, in another stall over, what looks like a woman throwing her husband out, accusing him of cheating and being a no good layabout and all this other stuff. And then 2 seconds later, he's the one yelling at her, accusing her of the same thing, and she's crying. And then another minute goes by and they're totally fine. And you keep seeing these small instances of like these weird things just like popping up every now and again. And then, Sephel, you see someone who, like, you see a Grey Dwarf, reverse mullet, and then they have kind of like these large mutton chops that form into a beard, and they've got like this leather apron in front of them, and lots of small little tools on the front of it, and they're just kind of like fingering their beard and looking at you quizzically as you are kind of playing with the gemstone. And go ahead and make an insight check.
Okay. Ooh. That is a 16.
Okay. It seems this particular dwarf seems to have some kind of recognition, or at least extreme interest in the gemstone that you are playing with. And you see that they stand in front of a small stall full of different types of blades and weapons and such like that. And you guys actually make eye contact, and he just kind of like gives you a small wave towards him, and he goes and like walks back around behind his table.
Okay. I'm going to go check out this shopkeep really quick. Sephel's going to approach cautiously.
Okay. As you do, you see that they have all sorts of very fine, very beautifully decorated weapons and armaments, which strikes you, kind of rolling over your insight check here, as very interesting, because out of all the other places that you've been here, all the other wares, a lot of things are very Spartan. They are sharp and beautiful and simplistic, and they function. That seems to be like the telltale sign of Grey Dwarf ingenuity and craft. But these have intricate designs, and you can see like there's Damascus patterns and all sorts of things. You see gemstones encrusting a lot of different hilts, and this particular dwarf finally kind of like sees you approach, and they like lean over their table, extending a big hand towards you, and they go, "The name's Dane Ironhead, and I'm quite fascinated as to where you got that." And he points at the blue crystal.
I'm familiar with the custom. Sephel reaches out his gloved hand.
Wonderful to meet you. He shakes it like his big paw basically just wraps around your hand.
You said Dane Iron?
Dane
Iron?
Ironhead.
Dane Ironhead. I procured this gem in a strange ruin I found while traversing days ago. A while ago. Inquiring of the nature of it. I have a few theories, but I'm still testing. Do you know more about it?
Do you mind if I hold that piece that you have in your hand? I promise I won't take anything. You can take one of my fine wares to hold on to.
So, yeah, the one I was playing with was the one that I had actually affixed to the top of the staff. So I will remove it from the twisted head, and very like he only trusts him as so far as like this guy's not going to get away if he tries anything, so he just holds it out two fingers.
He sees your trepidation, and he pulls from his from like a leather thong hanging on the side of his belt a very fine looking hammer, and he like extends it out to you, and he goes, "Here, hold it, well, just so you feel a little bit better. I wouldn't leave without this."
Very well.
And so he takes this gem, and he like takes out a monocle, like a jeweler's monocle, and he's looking at it, and he's like, "Oh, that's fascinating. Yes." And you see it actually like starts to kind of, he like tosses it up a little bit, and it slowly descends back down into his hand, and he's like, oh, that's... Do you mind if I do a little bit of magic over it? It's not going to disappear.
Please, by all means.
Thank you. And you recognize that he's doing identify over it. And so he's like, he himself is starting to grasp the properties of it, and he finally goes, "Oh, the things I can make out of this. You wouldn't happen to have a little bit more of this, would you?"
I do, actually. I managed to collect 2 samples from my original find. What would you make with it?
Well, as you can see, I mostly make armaments, weapons. That's a bit of my speciality.
And I have plans for the gems myself, but you seem to be a practitioner of this type of craft, and I imagine you could make something wonderful. So I will keep the small chunk that I have in my staff, and I will attempt to work that down for my purposes. You are welcome to take the second larger chunk that I have, if you think you can work it into something.
He's like, if you're willing to leave it with me, I could make you something quite spectacular. It might take me just a little bit of time, but I could have it ready for you within a couple of days.
That you've certainly piqued my interest, so by all means. And I will so I'm going to return the smaller chunk that I had in my staff into the staff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But the rest of the large blue chunk that I broke that from,
which was pretty respectable.
right? Yeah, that I'll give him that whole chunk.
Okay. He takes it and he like puts it into a chest behind his table, and he goes, "When I get back home tonight, I'll begin work on it. Give me 4 days if you can before you come to collect. But I will have it for you, and it will be glorious. Out of curiosity, are those your friends over there behind you? The very strong and intimidating looking woman, and the hobgoblin, the gigantic man, and
the mushroom.
the
Yes,
mushroom.
yes, they are
Yes.
with me.
All right. That, well, I don't mean to be sounding rude, but that young woman seems to be having a harder time than the rest of you in terms of, protection.
She was inquiring about a special set of stud leather armor with another crafter, Claude, I believe his name was.
Oh, yeah, no, and he starts, like, waving at you, Lara. He's like, you, come here.
Yeah, Lara will stride on over. Yes?
I'm Dane Ironhead, and I've been working with your friend here. I didn't actually catch your name, by the way.
Sephel, apologies.
He's like, you seem to be lacking there, Lara, and your protection, and, well, Claude, whatever he calls himself, isn't that particularly the best. But I might have something for you that's slightly experimental, that I happened to get off of a particular shipment a while back. Could I interest you in an experiment? There would be a little bit of gold, because I've been told it works very well. It's from far away. But if it works, if you came back and told me, I might be able to make more of it.
I'm very interested. Please show me.
And he dips behind his table, and he comes back with this, like, golden jug. And he just, like, puts it on the table, and he goes, it's liquid armor.
Excuse me?
It's not a joke. It's liquid armor. It comes from an island nation. I spent quite a fortune in getting in it. You pour it on the skin, and it forms like a second layer. It won't impede your movements, but it works just as hardy.
And it's one-time use, or is it... How does it work?
Well, from what I've been told, it can't really be taken off of you until you want it to, in which case it just kind of sloughs off you. And then perhaps you'd be able to apply it again.
And it's totally safe?
As far as I've known it, yes.
How much?
Well, considering I don't know the exact extent of it, I suppose I could give it to you at least half off. So, call it 1,000.
Are those crystals still out that Sephel traded to him?
He put away the big one that Sephel gave him.
Because I was thinking, and you're not. Would you be interested in a trade? I have a few things.
Sure, I'm always willing to trade.
All right. So she's gonna dig into her bag and start pulling all her crap out.
Oh, it's quite
She's
the collection.
She's gonna put down 3 quarts of liquor.
Oh, all right.
And I've got 3 torch stalks.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 pieces of the red crystal.
Okay. He is like, I don't know what the liquor is, but I'm curious. So that can stay on the table. The crystals, these ones, very interested in. I'll take those. And let's see. Oof. I could knock it down to 500.
What if we put your name on the bottle?
Well, I don't need the bottle. You could
No.
just keep the jug.
Yeah, that
It's
makes
what's
sense.
inside. Look, did you even look? And he like holds the picture out to you. And inside, you see what looks like liquid bronze.
I do have a an elixir that would charm the local fauna. Flora? No, fauna.
Fauna.
I have a potion of animal friendship.
Well, I do have a naked cat that's been pissing me off in the neighborhood. I suppose it'd be kind of nice to know if he could just fuck off.
You could tell him, and well, actually, he might warm up to you. And
Make a persuasion check.
can I not?
Oh,
Natural 18
okay.
for an 18.
Okay. He takes the potion. I'll knock it down to 400.
That is it. Okay.
It's an uncommon item. They're not worth a ton.
All right. 400.
No, you know what?
We
I'll give it to you for 250.
Hey,
All right.
Lara, are you a little short?
I'm perfectly tall, thank you.
I was gonna
A
say, she's
giant
taller
sack
than you.
of gold gets thrown onto the table, and you see Arthur's there, and he goes, "She'll take it."
The DM is so fucking sick of our shopping.
No, Arthur has money, and he's kitted the fuck out, and he's like, you know what? Here, have it.
That's very kind of you, Arthur. I don't have the funds to pay you back at this time, but I could save your life in the future, and that's worth something.
Absolutely, that is worth very, very much something. And Dane takes the gold, and Arthur's like, I'm sure the kindness will be repaid. Do not worry. I don't usually have need for the gold. And so I will put it in your bag here. Let's see. Come on. Dun, 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 dun. But as I'm doing that, Indigo, as these guys have all been talking, you have kind of been keeping a better eye out towards the streets. And as you do, some small movement catches your eye. And you're like, what the hell? Until you see this very particular dirty Darrow They have a pale face under a floppy hat fitted with two tentacle-like things that bob up and down in time with his brisk pace. He keeps muttering a repetitive series of phrases to himself at different volumes, and he fails to notice you as he eventually walks right by your feet.
Oh, Drogy's late. They'll be so angry. Stupid, stupid, stupid delays, blocks, procrastination, obstructions, poof. No time. No rhyme, not mine, no time. No, so late.
This is the person you're looking for. This is the acclaimed Drogi.
Oh, my friends. The game is afoot.
What do you mean?
We're gonna. Are we done shopping?
Yes.
All right. Indigo taps his nose and begins to shadow Drogi.
Oh, I know this game. How many words?
Everybody's
All right.
left. It smells like, wait, what?
I'm so confused.
All right.
Okay, so you're gonna try to stealth after him.
Sure am.
I'm going
okay.
invisible.
Okay.
So
Fucking
I'm just-
show off.
I'm just gonna pass the stealth part.
All right, everybody, roll a stealth check then.
I don't know how it works. Am I just? I'll just roll.
You're gonna roll, but you get a serious bonus.
Okay. 10. Oh wait, I have disadvantage because I'm sick. I keep forgetting.
Oh fuck. Yeah, that's right.
It's still a 10.
Okay. 10. Sephel, what'd you get again?
Also 10.
Okay.
Indigo got a 14 at disadvantage.
What the fuck?
Dang.
Stake out!
Stool got a natural 18, and then disadvantage for Arthur, because he's the massive dude. But not bad. Okay. You guys start kind of tailing this figure, him still muttering to himself, no time, no rhyme, not time, not mine. So late. Oh, and he starts like fiddling into his bag as you guys are kind of behind him. He's like,
Did it drop? No drop. So there, so there.
and he looks up and he makes eye contact with Sephel. And he's like,
Bag. Strange bag. Good bag?
friend. No friend! And he just starts booking it.
Oh, I'm chasing. I'm chasing.
Follow the Darrow.
And that's
chase
where
is
we'll leave
on!
it this week.
Hey, you, loyal listener, you've made it this far to the post show notes, and that means the absolute world to us. Thank you so much for being here. If you have one more second, we would adore you if you could leave a rating and a review in whatever podcatcher you're currently listening in. The ratings and reviews are astronomical when it comes to growing the show because it's what gets us noticed for new listeners. So if you have just a moment to do that, please do. And we also have a Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram if you want to give us a follow. It's at The Madness Table. And if you've noticed, we are now posting weekly episodes because of supporters like you. So if we haven't said it enough, thank you. And we will see you in just 7 short days for our next episode when...